Hello everyone, welcome back to Code Escuela. There could be situations wherein you want to run JavaScript code or call JavaScript methods within your Blazor application, and there is a way to do that in Blazor. Okay, so I think there's just three things that you want to remember. First off is injecting your IJS runtime interface, and the second would be using the invoke void async and invoke async. Okay, and so how do we do that? So we can, I have here a existing application already. So this one is your typical Blazor application, very simple one coming off straight from a template. And so first thing that you'd want to do is of course have your JavaScripts methods. Okay, so the easiest way for you to do that is via this script tag here. So you want to add your JavaScript methods within this script tag. So that would be right after this Blazor JavaScript file. Okay. So another thing to remember is that you'd want to attach your method to the window DOM. Okay. And so from there, you can start calling this method. So in this case, we have here named as log to console, which just has a single parameter that receives a string, which is in this case named message, and then would output it or display it on our console. So how do we make use or call this method within our Blazor application? So we have our home Razor page here, and I've set up a very simple button here that would call this log to browser method, and within this method is the actual call to the JavaScript method. So but first thing you want to do is you want to inject the IJS runtime interface so that you'll have access to the JS interop. Okay, so after that you can just basically just the first method that was suggested is invoke void async. So JS that invoke void async. So why do we use this one? It's because we don't want or we don't have or we don't receive any value returned from the function call. So in this case, the name of our method is or JavaScript method is log to console. It's named log to console, and then the rest would be the parameters. So we have a single parameter that will pass in. So in this case, the string hello JavaScript. Okay. So let's just run this one, and we should see, let's open our dev console here and focus on the console tab. So if we click this button, we should see that we have the hello JavaScript uh, message printed in our console. Okay, now that is easily one way of using JavaScript functions. Now, why would you do or would you call JavaScript functions? There could be so many reasons. One would be like if you want to run custom animation scripts using JavaScript, you can do that. Or you want to access uh, built-in JavaScript methods like the basic alert methods, the prompt, the confirm that's already in there. You can make use of that. Okay. And so let's just close this one. What would happen if you want to add another method or you'll have multiple methods? So you can't just do this like some method here, because if you try to call this one, Blazor would complain that yeah, it can't see this second method. So the simplest way to add multiple functions or JavaScript functions available to your Blazor application would be to turn this into like a object. Okay, so what do I mean by that? So what we can do now is turn this into a object, an object with functions. Okay, we know that, let's say let's name this as my JS functions. Okay, initialize this as an object, and then we'll move this one. Okay, inside here. Then we'll just remove this reference. Log to console, then we'll make this as a property of our object, as one of the properties of our object. Okay, so now we got the first one, log to console. Now if you want to add another function, then you can just add another one here. So let's say you want to show the built-in alert function of within JavaScript. So just let's say alert.js. We have a single parameter here, and then the body of our uh, method here. So it's just very basic, just passing in the parameter into alert itself. Okay, now that we have our second method, what we can do is try adding another button here. Okay, out on click. We'll add the method a bit later. Okay, let's just set up our button here. So alert, show alert. Then let's add our method here. Again, we'll be setting this one up by calling the invoke void async, because the show alert method doesn't return anything. Okay, for this one, show alert. Okay, and then doing the same stuff, calling invoke void async. What's the method again? Alert.js. Then passing it the parameter. Okay, now that we've hooked up this button to this second method, then we can just run this one and see the result. Okay, all right, so now we have two buttons. The first one would be log to browser console, which should be, wait, it's log to console. I think we're having log to console. Okay, should be named. One thing I forgot is, since it's now under in an object or property of the window object, then we should be adding sort of like a namespace. So first you'll have to append this one, my.js functions, and then dot. Okay, same pattern for the other method. You have to have this format for passing in the uh, JavaScript method that you want to use. First, you have this sort of identifier for which the method belongs to, and then the method itself, followed by, dot, and then the method itself. Okay, now this should be fine. Hopefully this should work. So let's try this one again. So log to browser console, it works. Now we can see the hello JavaScript string here, and then the other one would be show alert. And it's again, oops, sorry. It's having an error complaining about alert.js. So it should be named alert.js, my.js functions.alert.js. Okay. So what would be the fault here? Okay, I think I found the wrong part here. So this should be a proper function. Okay, so we remove this one. That should fix the issue here. Okay, this one also should be removed. So we're using lambda before, but now we'll have to make it a proper function name. This should work now. So Let's clear that one up. Try this one again. So we can see the hello JavaScript, and then the show alert is again complaining. Alert.js was undefined. Okay, now we have a function. Let's just restart this one, okay? Stop and start again. Let's try opening again the console. This one works, and this one fails again. Could not find my functions.alert.js. So this should my JS functions.alert.js. What seems to be the problem here? Okay, I think I know the problem now. So, our uh, we don't have the same uh, what do you call that, cases. So the one I tried calling here was alert capital JS. It should be small letter s. Okay, so we just have to match this one. Okay, so it's case sensitive. So let's try this one again. Okay, now opening up the console, the hello JavaScript is shown. That's good. Next one, the second button, show alert. Now it works. So it shows an alert, built-in alert box with the message inside, hello JavaScript. Okay, now that works. That's great. So I was always, so far we have always been mentioning the invoke void async. Now the other one would be invoke async, which is a function that you use when you want, or when the JavaScript method that you're using returns a value. Okay, so how does that work? So let's add another one here. Let's say we want to receive input from the user using the built-in prompt. Okay, so let's just name this prompt.js function message. Oops. And then we'll use the prompt message. Okay, return prompt. Okay, then we'll add another button here, the show prompt. Let's just copy paste here, so a bit lazy here. Show prompt, and then again let's reference the correct function name, and then let's ask, what is your name? Okay, error. Okay, now let's see. So this one we will be changing to invoke async, and then passing in the type that we're expecting from it. So we'll just be receiving a string, and then var name, and let's just do a console the name, and let's run this one. Okay, now we have the third button. Now let's just click this one. So now we will ask the name. Name is John. Click OK. Let's go back here to our console, and we can see that we have printed out the input, which is the text here John. So yeah, basically we have received the input coming from the prompt method, or the JavaScript prompt method, and yeah, that seems to be working fine. And so apart from that, you can uh, use whatever methods that return something, return some value, but you have to take note that you can also like cast it into a specific type, okay, by using this invoke async. So remember, just remember, invoke async if you want to uh, receive the results from the JavaScript method, and if not, just use the invoke void async, okay. And so yeah, this is the I guess the simplest way that you can make use of JavaScript or run JavaScript code within your Blazor applications. Now, if the time comes that you have a lot of functions that you want to use, or some other third-party uh, libraries or JavaScript libraries that you want to use, maybe you'd opt for like doing it as a module, or by using a separate JavaScript file within your Blazor application and reference it from there and load it via module way. But I'll show you that one way of calling JavaScript functions or methods via separate JavaScript files. Okay, and so I think this, yeah, sums up what I want to share with you today. And so yeah, hope you like this one, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video, and see you soon everyone, and bye.